Ho dedicato la mia vita ai momenti più felici, ad inseguire un sogno, il mio sogno. Quante volte mi hai deluso, non importa, io ci credo e vivo il mio sogno. Pari grande amore, Bari unica e sola, Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola, facci sognare ancora, facci gridare ancora, Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola mai. Quanti viaggi con gli amici, tanti posti sconosciuti, tutti uniti innamorati di un sogno. Canto sempre con orgoglio, anche quando sono stanco, mai nessuno può distruggere il mio sogno. Bari grande amore, Bari unica e sola, Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola mai. Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola mai. Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola mai.
To the Staten Island Soccer Report. We didn't get the soccer ball in the living room tonight, but we got a real special show tonight, I think. I'll let the girls introduce themselves. Hey, go ahead.
I'm Gabriella Contaduca, and I play forward for the SISC Strikers.
I'm Sydney Parker, and I play left defense for the SISC Soccer.
All right, so welcome, girls, to the show. I mean, this is our 90th show here, so as you girls know, actually, as you know, pretty much we've been doing this for like 5 years, I think,
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
And you've been on the show before as a co-host, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of comfortable with this, right? You're not nervous or anything, right?
No.
You're good. You got this.
Yeah.
All right, so not much going on. Our season wrapped up a few weeks ago, right? We're going to focus on the Strikers. But before that, let's get a little background. We'll start with Sydney. Question, I guess, would be, how did you get into soccer?
Well, when I was 4, when I moved to Connecticut, my mom, she got me into soccer because she used to play soccer for the Oklahoma State team, and so my family, like, we play soccer a lot. So I got into soccer, and ever since I've been playing.
So your mom played soccer?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta. She's in the audience tonight, so we gotta get her on here then. All right, so you started at a young age, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and where did you go from? Like 4 years old, you said you started before?
Yes.
4. Where'd you play? Can you name a couple of the teams, if you remember?
I don't know the teams because I've lived in a bunch of different states.
Okay. All right, let's focus on the teams on Staten Island.
So I played for the.
And you played for Great Kills?
I played, for the Great Kills team, and then for the for the SISC.
Okay. The Great Kills team is a rec team. How'd you do with them? How did any success with that team or?
Well, we did okay. I mean, we won a few games, but we've been doing better this season.
Okay. It's really not, and I'm sure a lot of people say it's not really all the time about the wins and losses. It's about your development, right? And the team also, right? If they're developing, if they're learning from the losses and the mistakes, like we're going to get into with our team this year. So that's more important than anything. First thing is developing and learning from the mistakes you made. Okay, so right now, obviously, you're on the Strikers, and let's bounce over to Gabriella. A little quick background. Go as far back as you remember.
Okay, so when I was about 4 years old, I started playing for St. Charles.
Right.
And then I started playing around a year later, started playing for the Richmond Town Rush, which my dad coached, and
Right.
I've been playing on that team for a couple of years, and then I switched to travel. And I started playing for SLSA Fire. And
Right.
then recently I switched, and now I'm playing for SISC Strikers, which you coach again.
Right. Okay, so same question for you. How did you get into soccer? How did
Well,
what's the whole deal with that? Why do you even like soccer? That's like big question tonight.
A lot of people in my family play soccer, and I really just grew up to really love the sport.
So your parents or forced you pretty much to play?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
No, okay. Actually, you should want to do it because you
No. Yeah.
love the game or you like the game.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself. So, all right, let's fast forward. You played on all these other teams. Did you learn anything from all these? Like, what's the one thing that you learned the most playing on all these other teams?
I learned that it's important to use what you practice. It's important to use what you practice in the games.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so you're going to carry over what you learned in practice to your games, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is that it? So you really over the years?
Oh
That's
no,
it?
I learned a lot.
All right, same question, Sid.
Well, I learned the most important thing is work together.
So, yep, that's definitely very important. Working together. That's as a team.
Mm-hmm.
When you start out with a brand new team like we did, that's probably the toughest thing because we haven't played together and working together. It probably took us 10 games to finally get that. Like our last game, I think, was one of our best games, even though we lost it.
Yeah.
But it was definitely one of our better games. Okay, so we'll fast forward right into this past season, right? You have a schedule right here of all the games, right? What do you remember? Let's go back to the first game of the season. Do you girls remember anything about that first game?
I remember somebody getting hurt in the first game.
Well, we're not going to talk.
Okay,
We'll speak
no,
about injuries.
but,
Let's just keep it about the games and your experience this past season.
Well, the first game, I didn't really understand how everyone was playing. Like, everyone played a different way, so it was hard to play with everyone.
Yep.
Like when everyone played different styles, different ways. So it was hard, but we pulled out a good loss.
Yeah, I mean, that first game, I thought we played well, being our first game ever. I mean, even though the result wasn't there, and it doesn't always mean, we learned, I think it showed me something, that we got some talent. We have to just put it all together, I think, in one game. And I think in that first game, we made 2 mistakes within 7 minutes on the back end, and they scored, and that was it. And our chances were blocked. A lot of shots were blocked by the other team. So that was the story of the first game. Let's go to the second one. Let's see. What's this second game? 6-2. All right. So what do you recall about that game, Sydney? Anything?
Well,
I don't think we really remember.
I don't remember, but like I'm pretty sure we probably like didn't work together the best.
Yeah.
It's probably still hard, like in our first.
So what's the one thing, Sydney, that you think the team needs to work on? Now that we're gonna go indoors, we're gonna be practicing indoors.
We need to like really like trust each other and to like
Yep.
work together, like, because some people think, oh, I'm better, so I'm not gonna pass it to you, but you need to like trust each other and just pass.
I think, yeah, you got to be able to pass. Definitely, and trust is a big thing. What about you? What
I
do you-
agree. I think that that we need to start like, well, actually at that time we needed to, trust each other.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anything else? It's got to be something else more than trust. I think if I was playing the game, right, if I'm on a team, I would want, like, someone needs to step up in certain situations. If we're down a goal, if we're down one, someone's got to step up. If you're a striker, if you're up top, if you're playing as a forward up top, it's your job and someone else, whoever's there up there with you, to get that goal. Someone's got to step up. You know, you got to get that second gear. You got to go into that second gear, I think, when you need to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go down to, I mean, we had a 2-game winning streak there. How did it feel to get the first win? I think after 5 losses, right? Count them. I think you could count them. I think it was after 5 losses that we got our first win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a little bit.
So I remember our first win was really exciting. It was our first win with the new team, and I think that we deserved it because after we lost 5 times in a row, we started to work harder as a team.
So what was it like after that game, the first game that you girls won?
It was very exciting.
Was it? Better feeling than the last 5, right?
Yeah.
All right, Sid, anything you want to add about that first win?
Well, I feel like once again, I like the trusting, because like our team's new, so like we haven't all been together, and I feel like that game we actually trusted each other to pass and score.
And also, possibly that team that we played probably took us a little light. Maybe they took us lightly, saying, "Oh, this team hasn't won a game, and they're going to just come in there and win a game." But that wasn't the case. The trust is definitely a big thing, but I don't want to. There's got to be more. We have to come to practice, and we have a great trainer, right? John, I think, is one of the best guys on the island, and we got him training us all our footwork. So soaking in what he's telling us, that's very important also, and then carrying that over to the game. All right, then we win our second game, right?
Mm-hmm. It was.
That was a game. That was a team that was beneath us. We were in 5th. They were in 6th place. They haven't won a game. Now we're playing a team that I thought we should have easily beat. I think it was 2-1, and that was the game where you scored a penalty kick, the PK. And that game, I thought we played down to their level.
Yeah.
You remember that game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on that?
I felt like, we did play down to their level. It's probably because we were losing like focus of like what you and the trainer John, was telling us to do, and we just went down to their level.
Yeah. So, but again, that comes where somebody on the team has to take charge and say, look, if you played 40 minutes and you're not playing well, you didn't play well at halftime, the coach will give his speech, right? He'll say what he needs to say, make adjustments, pull players out, whatever he has to do, right? Then there's got to be a player that's going to say, hey, look, get the girls together, right? And say, look, we need to really get going here.
Yeah.
Right? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. So any thoughts on that? Sid, anything on that?
Yeah, like what you said before about practice and Coach John, we like when Coach John's trainer John's talking, some of the girls don't take him seriously.
Yeah.
But like when we take him seriously, we actually do very good in the games.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, and we've had a couple, practices like that. But hopefully, again, he is one of the best guys. So I listen to every single word he says. All right, then we finish up down the stretch here, right? We play some close games. I mean, the score 5-2, right? The next game here, this 5-2 game was a 3-2 game until late, and we gave up.
Yeah, that's when
Oh,
I
right.
scored that really
Right.
hard goal.
Right, there was a couple of goals late in the game, so it makes the score look like it's it was actually a 3-2, and we could have actually tied that game up. So
Yeah,
we
man.
played a lot of these teams close. I think there was only one game, and it was the third game here, I think. It was 6-0. That was the only bad game. If we had a bad game, that was it. That was the only bad game. The whole game from beginning to end. Now, we could go down to the last game of the season.
That was our last game. Was definitely our best game. I feel like all the girls were kind of upset that it was our last game of the season. So we all did our best, and we focused, and we winded up losing only 1-0 to the first place team.
Right.
And
Yeah, on a penalty kick, right?
Mhm.
And let's not forget that you had a chance all by yourself. I think you just put the ball right onto the goalpost, and then it went wide. What happened there? Can you explain that? I got to put you on the spot, but
I think I don't remember it exactly, but I remember like I had a chance. I was on the left side of the goalpost,
right.
and I just saw the ball, and I'm not really good with my left foot, so I tried to kick it in, and
I
didn't.
Look,
And
I seen the
well,
whole thing. The ball goes through the keeper's hands, right?
Yeah.
It's behind the keeper. You run behind, and
And
you
I
just
tried to tap
messed
it
that
in.
whole thing up.
I tried to tap it in with my left foot.
My thought is you were probably nervous, I think.
No,
Think
it
you
was just because of my
No?
left foot.
Okay. All right, so what are we going to improve on? What can you improve on? Because you're here, we can't speak for the whole team, but what do you...
Well, I can improve on like my skills and
Well, we're going to work on that,
trusting.
but what is it, in your game, what could you do better?
I can like trust more players, and I can trust more.
Trust seems to be the biggest thing, right? I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess with more practices and more games, playing more games together, that's the only way we're going to get that, right? All right, let's go ahead now. We're going to be practicing. We're going to have a tournament in Jersey coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to be playing on Staten Island. We're going to play mini season at the Good U indoors. All right, that's going to start in January. What are you going to get out of that? Like, what are you are you going to focus on one thing? Even though indoor is not the same as outdoor, what are you going to work on?
Well, indoor, you're gonna work on like your technique and like your skill work and dribbling, and because it's more compact indoors.
Right. So what happens in indoors? You got to move that ball quick, I think.
Yeah.
Right. You can't just sit there. You have to it's like almost a zigzag. Just get that ball to your teammate. It's like a give and go, right? You pass and you go, right? So that's going to be done January 7th. We're going to do a TNEC. You've been to TNEC before. You haven't, right? I think you'll
Yeah.
like it when you see that.
TNEC is.
Tell us about your experience. I think you were there a couple of times, right?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It's really fun, and you pretty much have 4 separate like mini fields.
Right.
And you switch from like field A, field B, C, and D.
What's the tempo like? Like how is it? Explain.
It's very fast. Like you have to keep, like you can't be walking on the field. It's very fast. You have to keep up your and there's like 20 minutes
Yeah, about 18, something like
18
that. Yeah.
minutes. And yeah, you just have to be really, like, you can't be walking.
As soon as that whistle blows, you got to be ready to go. Because, you know, most of these teams from Jersey, they've been doing this
Yeah.
forever, right? This is going to be our first time as a team. So we have to be ready right off the bat. And we'll see what happens, you know. We'll play the 4 games. If we win it, we win it. And we'll come home with medals. If we don't, you know, we'll stop at a restaurant or something. We'll have a burger, you know, whatever. So then we got the Goodyear. That's coming up. And that's going to be like a season. I'm going to be playing that every Saturday. So you've played indoor before, right? You've done...
Well, I did for like a week
Okay.
on the SLSA.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So with the fire, yeah. So you've never really played games indoor, right? Like
No.
a season. All right, so it's something new. Something new for you. Okay. All right. Anything else on the Strikers you guys want to talk about?
No.
You mentioned that you have your teammates watching you, right? You want to give a shout out to your teammates?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And your
let's
classmates?
give a shout
If they're
out.
watching you, now's the time to do it.
Let's give a shout out to 817, the best class in
What about your teammates?
in 8th grade. Okay.
Are you teammates?
Strikers. Try and like name everybody.
Oh,
Okay.
whatever you have to do.
Abby, Gabby, Stephanie, Maya,
Nina.
Chloe, Nina,
Jess.
Bianca, Jessica, Sabrina,
Jamie,
Jamie,
Well, you know what? Let's
Gianna.
let's
Shout out.
me and you.
Yes.
let's give some props out. I think Jess played excellent in goal, right? I think she was, you know, she held us in a couple of games. You've done well back there also, Nina. You know, girls that stood out. Bianca played well. Sasha came on to the team late and scored some goals for us.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Sasha. Yes, Sally.
Sally came on late. No, Sally didn't come on late. Was she there in the beginning?
she was there.
She was
She
there
was
from the
there,
whole
yeah.
time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sasha came on a little bit. I think she
Yeah,
missed the first
Sally-
game.
Sally told us about Sasha.
Right. So yeah, some good things we had going, and let's just hope that you know, for the spring season, you know, we could just do better. That's it. I mean, the goal is to win the division. That's the goal. That's my goal. But
Yeah.
if we can't accomplish that, we'll have to just play better every week. That's it. All right. So anything else with the Strikers, or we'll move on to
That's
some other?
it, really.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right. So you
I
have.
forgot about Ryan.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Ryan. Yes. Ryan is one of our defense. She's
Right.
very good.
She's really good.
Jamie.
Go, Ryan.
Jamie.
Yes, Jamie.
Jamie got injured, right? She missed most
Yeah,
of the
she
season,
got
right?
surgery.
Sydney got injured.
Yeah. She's been out,
First game of the season.
right?
Yeah. Who else? Yeah, I think that's it.
You sure?
Well, how many players do we have?
Coach Steve, Coach John,
Oh, yes. All the parents.
and of course,
are,
if without the parents, there's no team, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Drive
thank
us
you.
to Jersey.
Exactly.
Yes, drive us all the way out to Jersey. Thank you.
That's it. So, what color jerseys we have? We have green.
We have
Green.
pink for breast
Pink,
cancer.
right.
Yes, yes.
Right.
We have green, white, and then pink.
Okay, good. All right. Let's before we close off the Strikers. What's name like your best moment this past season? Both of you. Okay. Best moment.
So the best moment.
And then we'll go
was-
worst moment.
Oh, okay. So my best moment was when I scored the penalty kick,
Okay.
and when I scored, it was, I don't remember what game it was, but when we lost like 5-2.
You're right.
Yeah, when we lost 5-2, and I was really upset, and I was like, we had to win.
Yeah, that game we
To
were
try at
down. I
least.
think we had 11 players that game.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah,
just
we
enough,
were down a lot.
right? And we were down, I think 3-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we scored
And
a
then
couple.
Me
Yeah.
and Bianca
Yeah.
were just passing back
Right.
and forth, and
Right.
then I wound up scoring a goal.
So that's your best moment. Which one? PK or that one? You got to pick.
Oh, both of them.
Both? All right, take both of them. And what's your worst?
Oh, my worst.
Worst moment of the season. Was it the last game where you missed that
Yes,
goal?
it was the last
Yeah,
game.
that's what I thought. I'm never going to let you live that one down. You know that, right?
I know.
You owe me a goal. And so does Sasha.
Yeah.
For the PK.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have been
We
back
could have
there.
won that
What was she
game.
doing back there? Is she watching today?
She probably got confused.
Oh, my goodness.
'Cause
But
she
it's all
was
right,
supposed to
Sasha.
stay
If she's
behind.
watching, it's okay. All right, so that's your worst moment?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think I would agree because that goal could have tied the game for us.
I know.
Kukuza. All right, so go ahead.
I think my best moment was probably the last game because I got a bunch of balls. Like I kept blocking them out and
Yep.
preventing them from scoring.
Yep. We had a game plan. Let me
Yeah, that game
right.
was
Let's
really
talk about
good,
that game
yeah.
plan too. We had going into that. You remember what John was saying, right, before the game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Let's
take it
talk about
slow.
that. Let's talk about the game plan for that last game of the season and why. Go ahead.
And so his game plan, it was like to take it slow, to like if there's a throw in, to walk to the ball and take everything slow, so
Right.
they don't come back and like score because they're the best team in the league. They're number one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his thinking was, if they're a high scoring team, all right, we might have a caller on, which is Vincenzo. He usually calls the show. So, all right. So if we have a high scoring team, right? His idea was, yes, caller, you're on the Staten Island Soccer Report. Nothing yet. Okay, we'll continue until we get him through. Right. So John was saying to just slow the game down, like every time the ball went out of bounds, walk instead of running, right? That kind of stuff. And we did a great job by doing that, I think.
Yeah, until like the last 15 minutes, like we need to start picking it up because
Right.
we,
Well,
like,
before you
we're-
get into
we're
that,
trailing.
why?
because we can't be like we needed to score. We need to
Right.
pick up the pace.
They scored a goal on us, so that game plan pretty much went out the window as far as slowing the game down and trying to kill the clock. If you're trailing, you can't do that,
'Cause
right? You have
yeah.
to do the opposite. Right. So, and that's what we did. We actually put pressure on them at the end of the game. We really
Yeah.
did. We should have had a PK or a free kick, but the referee, didn't give it to us. So, life goes on. All right, your worst moment.
Oh, my worst moment was probably our game when we lost 6-0.
Okay.
Because that game, it got me very aggravated because in
Yeah.
the back they were just passing in the back, and I was chasing like all the balls, and everyone was like, "Come on, Cindy, get the ball," but nobody else was doing anything.
You're talking about your teammates.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when
Yep.
I got very aggravated, and I started hyperventilating, and I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
team, for whatever reason, I thought that team was going to win the group, and they didn't win the group. And they seemed like the best team
Yeah,
because they kind of toyed with us a little bit.
Yeah.
They did toy with us a little, but they didn't, they didn't win the division, so they weren't that good, I guess. But we'll see them again. We'll see them again in the springtime. And so, what'd you learn from your worst moment?
That, like, once again,
If-
everyone needs to like work together. Because you can't just put one person on the spot and be like, you need to get the ball.
Right.
Because everyone
Yeah.
needs to, like, work together, and everyone has to try to get
There's
the
one
ball.
thing that shouldn't happen, and I learned a lot myself this past season. But you girls, like, nobody should be blaming somebody else for any mistakes during the course of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, at any time, we're not going to blame anybody. Mistakes happen. And the only thing we could do is learn from it. That's the only thing we could do. But we should not be pointing fingers, especially on the field. Okay?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it much, but I heard of it. When your girls come off the field, you complain about it. But that's got to stop. We definitely cannot complain on the field. It's going to take away from what your job is. And we got George on. George is watching us through Facebook there. Thank you, George. So, what are you going to learn about your worst moment?
I'm gonna learn.
I wish I had a
that-
video of that moment, actually. I would have put it on it tonight, but.
I'm gonna learn that
Well, maybe, you mentioned about your left foot, right?
Yeah.
That you're not good at it. Maybe you want to
Work
start
on
working
it.
on that. Okay, this way you have both of them, both your feet ready to go whenever you need. right? Ever think of that? Ding, ding. Yeah, there you go. That's it. I mean, that's what I would do,
Yeah.
you know, if I was able to play. But all right. So we spoke about moments and good points, bad, right? Anything else about the Strikers? How far? Like, where would you see this team in the spring? Do you think we can actually win that division in the spring?
I think it's gonna take time, cause like only not even like the best team, like with every single player has great footwork, everything. Not even like the best team can, you know, just starting to play together can.
Well,
win
the division is going to look different in the springtime because the top 2 teams that finished in the fall are going to move on, right? And the worst 2 from the top division are going to come down. So that leaves it, I think it's wide open. I think it's wide open, meaning
I think we could win because like we were like at our last game, we worked really good together.
right.
So I think coming in spring, we could have a chance to win.
Right. And that, as a coach, that showed me that your girls have you. Just if you pay attention
Yeah.
and you come to play and then fool around after the game. Fool around on your way home. But, yeah, if you come to play and you pay attention to coaches, we could probably beat anybody in that division. I really believe that. So, all right. But you want to focus on what's going on here in front of you?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So again, you could do Morgan.
So, Alex Morgan is the CONCACAF
Right.
Female Player of the Year,
Right.
and she's USA's leading scorer in 2017 and wins award for the 3rd time.
Third time, right? It says third time, and so what are your thoughts on that, girls?
I
You-
think that she deserves it. Like, I've seen Alex Morgan like playing a lot, and
Right.
I've seen her playing for a long time, and I think she deserves it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she worked hard for it, and yeah, like what Gabby said, she really does deserve it.
Now, how hard do you think she works during training and practices?
A lot, and she
right?
focuses a lot.
That
Yeah.
there you go.
Like, there's no fooling around.
That
There's no.
right. This right doesn't get handed to her just because she's Alex Morgan, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but she is one of the best players in the world. That's great. Do you watch a lot of women's soccer?
Well, not really because
Okay.
I'll watch it sometimes, but like on my own because my dad mostly focuses on football. So
All right.
Yeah.
I know Gabriella doesn't watch it as much either, right? But you do.
I try
Everyone's-
to, but
Yeah.
like I don't understand like how like they're ranked, and it's
What do you
very
mean?
confusing.
What don't you understand?
Like, I don't understand like how like they're all set up, like all the teams. Like,
Well, the national teams play in tournaments, World Cup, right?
Mhm.
Olympics. So that's it. They just play a tournament, just like we play tournaments. Like when you go to the Coliseum, right? It's a tournament. It's like you play for 3 other teams. It's the same thing.
Okay.
But you're playing for your nation, Canada, U.S., Mexico, whatever it may be. So what do we got here?
Christian Pulvis wins. Yeah,
Pulisic, yep.
Pulisic wins 2017 U.S. Soccer Male Player of the Year. He's 19 years old and he's a midfielder, and he became the youngest
Yeah.
player to receive the honor.
That's what I was going to say. He's the youngest player, American player. I think he just turned 19. It doesn't say it
Yeah.
on there, right? But I think he just turned 19 years old, and he's already on the national team. And he's playing in Germany for his club team. So what do you think about that? 19.
Well, since he's very young, so he has to have obviously like a lot of talent. He has to have been working hard for this, like Alex Morgan. She's been playing a long time,
Right.
and yeah, so he has had to have been working like very hard during practice. There's no distractions.
And
Yeah.
George is telling us mistakes are learning opportunities, right? That's what they are. Now, do you think this young guy here, Christian, and he probably practices every day, every second.
Like Trainer John said that you have to touch the ball every day.
Right. Yeah. You can't just depend on hour, 2 a day, 2 a week practices. That's not going to really get it done for you. If you really love this game, you would. Yes. Oh, looks like we have. Vincenzo, go away from the microwave. It's a little staticky there. All right, Vincenzo. Welcome back, Vincenzo. We had a little problems with the phone line, but we got you back on. All right, Vincenzo, we have a couple players here. I think it's just I don't know if the static is from us or from his end. Are you there, Vincenzo? Okay, all right. Vincenzo, we have a couple of my players here tonight live in the studio. From the Staten Island Strikers. All right.
That's a beautiful name, Staten Island Strikers. Are you striking for gold?
That's it.
Yes.
So, Vincenzo, what's going on in Brooklyn?
Well, Johnny, now we're taking holiday recess, and we're going to pick it up sometime in January, maybe the 1st or 6th. And, everything's on schedule.
Right.
And every step forward, it's going to an improvement.
Right. All right, listen, before we go, let's talk about Body and what they're doing in Serie B.
Well, Johnny, you know about this year, the intention is to go to the A division.
Yes.
And so far, they're leading the B standing in a way I'm glad for the Body Club, but the same token, I'm a little bit sad because my team, Forza,
yes.
is at the bottom of the B division.
Yeah, yep.
So you can have both teams. Well, there was a dream, both Bari and Forza in Serie A, but we'll take Bari in Serie A.
So, Body right now is sitting in second place, Vincenzo, and they have the most wins in Serie B.
It's still at second place, but not far away from the leading position.
No, they're in second place. They're 3 points behind Palermo, which beat Body 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that was the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Palermo 3, Body 1 in San Nicola Stadium.
Well, just remember, the first 3 teams, they go up.
Yes.
So
Well,
even if you come third place, you still, you're moving up to the A division.
Yeah, so Vincenzo, the first 2 go automatically. The third place plays a playoff.
Well, like I said, second place right now, it's in third place, playoff. Playoff sometimes you see who's the 4th team, because the 4th team, like you see what happened Sunday with Inter Udinese.
Yes.
Inter unbeaten until they had some kind of record in the Serie A division.
Yeah.
He played Udinese, a middle-standing team.
All right, Vincenzo, since we got a couple players here tonight, what advice would you give them?
Well, when you play the game, always give your best. If you don't give your best, that means you're not trying hard enough. Try your best. After you remember the best, bring the best for the next game. Every game, if you try your best, best plus best plus best, is going to be super best. So it doesn't take one game, it takes more than one game, and you're learning, even though you lose a game, but it's not a loss if you learn something. If you learn something, next game you'll do better.
That's it.
Next game you learn something, the game after that you'll be better until you really learn all the entire lesson. So always stay focused. Never rule number 1 that I'm teaching all the younger soccer players. Never turn your back to the ball.
Yes.
Your eyes gotta be always on the ball. Even though the other team is attacking, so you have to come back facing the ball. You could go backwards, but keep your eyes on the ball. Because unless you got 4 eyes, let me know who's got 4 eyes, and I'll be there.
Yeah, Vincenzo, very important. Never turn your back. Definitely, I agree.
Stay focused.
Yep.
And also another mistake that young people make, and let's say if you're forward and you're in attacking mode, and the ball goes to the goalkeeper or it goes out of line, people say, oh, I did my job, now I can go for a water break. No,
Right.
Now you become a defender right away.
Yes.
Once you play the finish, you're forward, it becomes a defender.
Right.
That's almost at the young stage. I always make that mistake. Guys, I did my share. I kicked the ball, went out, and I can take a little break. No break.
No breaks. Definitely no breaks during soccer games. That's for
I
sure.
always stay focused. Once the other team gets the ball, you're a defender. Yeah, but I'm forward. So
Right.
what? The other team gets the ball. You try to stop the other player of kicking forward and come into your penalty area. It gives them a chance to score a goal.
Yep. All right, Vincenzo. What else is going on in Serie A in Italy?
Like I told you, John, the last Saturday you had, for the first time, Inter lost the first game.
Yes.
And lost
First
like
loss.
body the standing. Now Napoli back
Down.
in first place. Second place, Juventus 1 point, and then Inter.
Yes.
So we got 3 teams with 2 points separating each other. Never happened before.
Yeah, I still think Juventus is the team to beat there. You know, they beat Napoli, right, a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, in Naples.
Right, in Naples.
Yeah.
Yeah, Higuain.
Like I said, John, this year, usually the previous year you had 2 teams. This year you got 3 teams, and plus, don't forget, you got Roma bleeding heavy.
Yes, I see them.
So you got 4 teams separating by
Roma,
3
right?
or 4 points.
He's saying, yep.
That means one team loses, like Bobby, if you lose, if you sneeze, you lose.
Yeah, next week they're playing Bari Parma, and next weekend Parma is 1 point behind.
See, Parma's another team. Just
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
You have to stay 100%,
Yeah.
100%, no 99, 100% focus.
Right, the team that's focused, yep, team that's focused is going to get it done.
Yeah, because if you lose your focus, that means 1 point, it's the difference.
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
So that's the standings now. Parma is number 3, and they're playing Bari this week. So big game, another big game.
Bari, Palermo, Parma, they're not new in Serie A. You know, they were there a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
They're going back and forth, so they're not like you had Benevento, you had Crotone, Spal.
Yeah.
In Serie A, like I never saw the Serie A before, but Bari, Parma, Palermo, you know, they're not rookie clubs.
yeah. All right, Vincenzo. Any advice, tricks that you could share? On the soccer field. I would always say, Vincenzo, you want to outsmart your opponent.
Usually, John, the coach always makes that a little bit different. In other words, you have to position your play according to their skill.
Right.
Sometimes, if you put somebody in defense and maybe the player likes to running around, that means he's not holding his position.
Right.
And find each player the respective position. That makes a difference. Because I remember one time, a long time ago, I had a player, he didn't know how to play soccer, but he knew how to position himself.
Okay.
And sometimes if you save a goal on the line because you happen to be in the right spot at the right moment, you save the goal.
Right.
It's like a scoring a goal.
Right. If you save, right. Exactly. Did you hear that?
So, you know,
You heard what he
it's
said?
finding a player,
Listen
not
up.
everybody can play defense. But, you know, if you find a player that knows the sense of position, I will put that player on defense.
So,
Midfield is somebody that covers a lot of ground, people that a lot of stamina, a lot of
Right.
energy. Forward, usually forward is your most skillful player.
okay, Vincenzo, I have a forward and a defender here.
Hey,
What could you say?
remember, defender know exactly where is the goal net. You have to know.
The defender has to know.
With a toothbrush, you have to know if the ball is coming this way, you have to defend like you have a little baby in the net. You have like a little dog, a little cat. The ball is trying to hit the cat. So your job is to protect. Don't let the ball go through because now anything is happening. So always trying to defend your net. Number one. Number two, don't give your forward a clear vision of your net. If you have to try, not push physically, but
Maybe shield?
trying to shield, obscure the vision of the net, and this way they can go to a corner kick. If you score a goal from a corner kick, you could be called Messi now. No
Yeah, you know what? That happened to us a couple of times this year.
See? So, trying to always...
I don't think that should ever happen, right?
It's very difficult to score from the corner by
Yeah.
the flag. It's almost, unless I can say you have
It happened.
tremendous skill, like Pele, Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo.
Wait,
then
what-
you could do that.
And what if the defender was in the right position?
Then basic rule that you are giving the forward
Right.
a chance to look at you have an open vision at the net. Now, if let me shoot to the left, to the right, you give him opportunity to see a clear what's in front of your opponent. You try to obscure the vision.
Okay.
And also you need, if all possible, John, double up.
Double up, yeah.
Yeah, one guy goes to the ball, and the other guy, in case the forward is a good forward, dribbles your friend, you gotta come up right away. Another friend, he cannot say, oh, let me go. No, then another friend is gonna take your spot. It's a double team, which is
Okay.
not easy to come. But 3 words, then you have to do it to make it perfect. Everybody's got their ears open over there.
Practice.
You have to do 3 things. Are you
Practice.
ready?
Practice.
I didn't even look at there.
Go ahead. He wants to know if you're ready. He don't hear you.
You girls are ready?
Speak.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. You have to practice.
Practice. Practice.
And what's the third one? I forgot.
Practice.
Practice.
Oh, I forgot it.
There you go.
Okay, I'm getting old. Practice.
You have any questions?
Practice.
Any questions for Vincenzo?
Practice makes it perfect.
All right, Vincenzo.
Yeah, really.
So what else is going with the Fialo? You guys are set up to come back in January?
Well, yeah, like I said, we take a holiday break in January. There is a possibility that the Italian Centro, which is located on 18th Avenue and Benson
Right.
Avenue, is a chance that we might be practicing.
Okay.
The gym is ready, but last time I heard that they need the bleacher, the seat, but the gym itself alone is ready. So practice, maybe we could do it, but the actual game where you have grandparents, you have your uncle, auntie,
Right.
cousins, the seats were not installed yet.
Okay.
But practice is a possibility, but I won't put 2 cents on that. It's a possibility that maybe next year, January, we could start only the game itself still at Cavallaro, because
Right.
they got bleachers, they got everything with them.
Right. So the new
That's
place,
the best I ever tell you.
so the new building doesn't have any place to sit? No.
Yeah, like I said, they got the gym, but they're finalizing the
No,
bleachers.
okay, no benches, yeah.
Yes, I read you could, but you don't want to college, standing up for 2 hours. Imagine that.
Hey, you're not that old, Vincenzo. Come on.
In my own chair then.
Hall of Fame, St. Francis College, right?
Well, that was a long time ago. I'm still proud of that.
Yeah.
Girls, remember, they do have soccer in college. They give a scholarship in sports.
Right. Yeah.
But don't forget, first is the schoolwork, scholastic, academic, and then everything falls in place.
Okay, Vincenzo, one more thing here. The World Cup went out Italy and the United States. What is it going to look like?
Well, remember, Chad, you have very good teams from South America,
Right.
which are
Cup.
Brazil, Argentina, and a lot of people they don't even know or they forget about. But now that I saw some highlight on the Spanish network, and you know, I'm gonna change my mind. Before, if I told you if I had $1, I would have put it in Germany
Yes.
and Brazil. Now I would say Germany, Uruguay.
Uruguay. Yeah.
Ooh, they
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah, I think they came in maybe third place.
I'm telling Uruguay, so, you know, South America, they look good. European, Germany, England, Spain, and the other country, I don't know, Johnny, fresh, the girls there. You know, girls, where is Iceland?
Iceland. Where's Iceland? Anybody know?
There.
Oh, they're versing Argentina on Saturday.
Yeah, they're playing
June
Argentina.
16th.
I know, but they don't know where is Iceland, because I don't know.
Do you know where? Do you know where it is?
Poland?
No.
What's the capital of Iceland?
What's the capital?
What's the population?
Population is probably the same as Staten Island.
Johnny,
That's probably. So, yeah,
rooting for Iceland.
Iceland is one of the underdogs to
Yeah,
win. Right.
The most, I would say, Johnny, if you win, if Iceland wins, you got a lot of people becoming a billionaire.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. I'd like to see them win a couple of games myself.
Yeah, and maybe qualify for the next round.
Yeah. Well, the first game, Vincenzo, Argentina's first game right away, so.
Yeah, like I said, Argentina is a good team.
Who do they play
but
next?
Girls, remember this.
Iceland. Just flip
You
it.
play for the team.
Yeah.
You don't play if you score a goal. Oh, I score a goal. You score a goal for the team.
Right,
The
of course.
Argentina,
They're not there.
Me first. I know, girls, the word team. How do you spell team?
TEAM.
Good job. That's your captain. How do you spell team?
Yeah, well, the,
T-E-A-M.
go ahead.
Do you
T-E-A-M.
see any I on the team?
Oh, no I in team.
The Argentina, I first, me first.
Yep.
In team,
Yep.
you play for the team. You win for the team.
Yes.
If you lose, the team lose. No, I lost. No, everybody lose. If you want to play for the team, so it's not such a, you don't have no I, the team. If you spell team, if you want such a thing, I, T-I-A-M. No, T-E-A-M.
So, Vincenzo, this team, speaking of the Staten Island Strikers, it was the first season they played together. We played 10 games, and they weren't, obviously, they never played together, so it kind of took some time just to get used to and trust. The girls were talking about trusting each other pretty much the beginning of the show. So they didn't have that trust because they didn't know each other that well, right?
Right.
It takes a lot of practice, a lot of communication among players. Like I said before, if somebody goes to cover the player and the ball, somebody has to back up. Otherwise, everybody cannot blink overnight. The other team can score a goal,
course,
not
yeah.
pass. So you have to stay focused 110%. Forget about 100% more. Because if you blink your eye, so you have to stay focused. What if you lose, it's okay, but don't lose the lesson.
Right.
If you learn the lesson, it's okay. You do it by the next game. And then after so many games, everything will become normal, will become standard.
Well, I'm looking forward to Vincenzo to see how the team is going to play in the springtime, because we're going to do some indoor stuff. We're going to play some tournaments indoor, and then we're going to practice, obviously. And in March, sometime in March, we're going to go back outdoors. And I'm looking forward to the spring season to see if we learned anything from the fall.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, listen, John, you guys, right now, everybody's on break for a couple of months?
No, there's no, a couple of weeks. We just finished, the season finished for us December 3rd. So
And this week, when are you going to pick up again?
we're going to start again January 7th.
Okay. I was wondering, because if you have a long interval
Yeah.
between fall and spring,
Yeah.
that means, and then we have to start back to square
And
one.
we probably took a month off, but I think it was well deserved. A month off, it's going to end up being, but we're going to get right back to it. So.
Also, girls, remember, if you have, instead of playing video games or all this Facebook and that, every hour a day, if it's a bad day, always stay with, even if you kick the ball against the wall. Okay. I remember, John, long when I was, I wanted to learn how to play tennis. Tennis is not an easy sport, right?
Right.
What do you think the tennis players do when they don't play at competition level? They go against any wall with a tennis racket, with a ball, and they just come back and forth. Like they apply the same thing in soccer.
Same thing, right?
Nothing to do today, a foul.
Right.
If you go down in the basement, you have a little wall there, kick back and forth for a foul.
All right, Vincenzo, we're about to wrap up the show here.
John, thank you then.
You know what? Any last words? Any jokes before you go?
Because it's a Christmas time, so I guess before when I was young, we used to go to the department store, like Macy's, Corvettes, Johnson, A&S, and I used to take my daughter to those stores, and there was Santa Claus there.
Right.
And Santa Claus would ask the little girl, the little boy, what do you want for Christmas? And the girl would whisper to Santa Claus, I want a doll, or a Garbage Patch doll. There was a famous one in the 80s, the Garbage Patch doll.
Cabbage Patch,
So
yeah.
Santa Claus would whisper to the parents, and guess what she got for Christmas? Garbage Patch doll.
There you go.
So this year, the daughter takes the daughter and son to see Santa Claus, and Santa Claus says to the little girl, what do you want for Christmas? The little girl goes, hey, you Santa Claus, I sent you an email. Did you get my email?
No email. All right, Vincenzo, they're telling me to wrap it up. Thank you for calling.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, Vincenzo.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, everybody.
I leave it down here. All right, so look, that was the famous Vincenzo, as you know.
Yes.
You know him, all right? Hall of Fame, St. Francis College.
Yes.
And he's great. He's teaching the little ones, like 5, 6-year-olds. He's teaching in Brooklyn. All right, so that's it. The hour's gone. We're going to wrap. He's telling me to wrap up. When we get this, when he does this, it means we're going to wrap up the show. So we'll wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to everybody. We'll see you guys next year, 2018, right?
I'm scared.
Ho dedicato la mia vita ai momenti più felici, ad inseguire un sogno, il mio sogno. Quante volte mi hai deluso, non importa, io ci credo e vivo il mio sogno. Pari grande amore, Bari unica e sola, Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola, facci sognare ancora, facci gridare ancora, facci gridare ancora. la serie